race fans. We're talking with a legend. No other word for it, really, to be honest with you.
You make it sound good.
John Fenton. Now, John, I'm going to go out on a limb, and people out there might be saying, "Sado, you're wrong," and that's fine. But I reckon you might be the first Cricky Motorsport sprint car feature winner, because you ran the Cricky car early on when they just bought it, really. I think Ron raced it for a little bit, and then you run it, and you won a feature race in that.
Well, that could have been the case, but I don't want to say yes. It would have been great if I'd won it.
I'll have to look up the records fully.
Was a lot. We were very close with the Crickies, and was actually with Peter, the older of the brothers, Johnny and Ronnie. They're good guys, and they love the speedway, and they still do. You know what they've put into it, and they've also had their very serious, sad losses. And I drove their car a few times, and that could have been the case. It certainly could have. But there's been a lot of races you win that you drive for guys and do your job. And I won a few in Alf Barbagallo's sprint car.
Yeah.
And the New Year Derby, whatever they had, we won that one night when the story goes that I hit Bill Sutherland and he unfortunately lost control of the car, but to me he looked out of control anyway.
You're just trying to straighten him up, are you?
that will help the Bennett gang. Rodney, we probably wanted to knock my head off that night, but it's your baby Bill. But Bill was a good competitor, and it can happen, but you can't sort of park on the freeway, can you?
I know you've got to go when you want to go.
And it was a tough race, but Jack Hewitt, I think, was leading it, and something broke. But to win, you've got to finish.
Yeah.
And you've got to keep at it until it's over. And they're all a hard job. It was like winning the 100 lap racing in Brisbane. I won 100 in Brisbane, a feature race there, and in the Volkswagen, and that was a tough race. 100 laps is a different deal.
Yeah. And how are you mentally? I mean, physically, obviously, we know that.
Well,
it would be tough.
You ask any of these big guys, they always think I've had a bit of a problem. But look, there's some jealousy sneak in, and I've always said to them, I'm not the best by any means. I'm just better than the rest. But you have to have these things to get the show going and make people take notice. If they don't do anything, well, you're not doing a very good job at all, are you?
Yeah, that's true.
And that's what it was about. We drove Kevin Burrows' speed car, and I won a feature in that, and in Derek Pillsworth's Offenhauser, I won a feature race in that, and also Peter Brady's Offenhauser. My daughter was born, Janine,
right,
who was Nick's mum. I had to go to the Speedway, and unfortunately, I told Jan I've got to go to the Speedway. And
sorry, the kid's coming, but
he was coming, she was coming, and she has an absolute passion for motor racing. As they happened with Nick and taking him to Las Vegas to race in that go-kart race. I know we're jumping around a bit.
No, that's all right.
But look, there's so many things about your racing that happens that families loved it, and it's been just part of all of us. We've just really enjoyed our racing. My nephew, David Forsyth, who loved these motocross and did good with the boys, Tony and Kevin, who loved it all. Racing's just been part of it all. But who wins what race, you've got to be out there. I won a few in Noel's car. His sprint car, just country shows we went to with him, and he let us run a few races in it. And he went to Darwin, and he won up there. And it's just, it really is a good thing. You've done a lot in such a short time.
Do you have any superstitions when you race? Like, did you wear, some people might wear certain undies, or they've got their race bag packed a certain way, or they eat something for breakfast, or do have a routine? Did you have that for you, or you just?
No, I know Tony Bartlett did. He would be horrified if anyone had anything green on. He'd be worried about that. He was, and I don't think see, I won the first Australian title. It was on the Friday the 13th. So everything is just what you make it. And I think so, but I might be wrong. I thought I was wrong once, and it turned out it was just a mistake.
Very good.
So it's just how you look at it. It's very, very interesting to follow what people have superstitions about it. And I've always got to get in the car from that side, or whatever you do. I don't know. Just get into it. And let's go.
What about regrets? Do you have, yeah, like over the years racing personally?
The biggest regret is getting involved in promoting it financially. It just costs you a lot of money, and you're not one capital that can hold that. To do it, you can lose, and people get the wrong idea about it all.
Yeah.
It's not a good, easy exercise, tough.
Yep.
But I really support these, the country tracks as you call them, or provisional.
Yep.
They are great, they do a good job. We used to go to Catania and Kalgoorlie and places like that, even though we were looked after very well when we went.
Yeah.
And we were lucky enough to win a lot of those races there. So it's just, you get out of it what you put in. You know?
So you're saying, like, when you're promoting, because of financials, how much stress and strain, I'm getting a bit personal here, but I think it's important to get that side too, because it's all fun and games.
Sure.
Racing. How much strain on a family is that when you've got to go through that and you're saying to your wife, hey, come aboard, we're going to go do this and we're going to try, and she fully supports you, and then it goes a bit...
Well, you lose big numbers. Yeah. Big numbers. I mean, I'm good mates with Gary Rush. He told me when he was at Parramatta, he said, look, I've got that way. I was talking to him about how tough it is.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm going down the back straight, lining up, and I'm looking up in the grandstand, thinking, it was there the Wayne Straight was the grandstand. He said, I look across and look up at it because you get a good look going down
how
the
many
back straight.
people are in there?
And he said, I'm not concentrating on my racing.
Yeah.
And he said, we're going to lose so much money.
Isn't that amazing?
See, because your mind wanders away from it.
Yeah.
And it's sad, and when I went to Darwin to help the guy up there, Paddy Ryan, up there in Darwin with the Speedway up there, he said, we'll get so many people. I said, you won't get that many. Your numbers are out. It'll look like it,
yeah,
but the numbers aren't there.
And it's paid numbers too, no free.
Paid numbers, but the other numbers people put in with sponsorship, you've got to be careful that you're not giving 100 away and it's costing you 200. And you can do it, A great guy in promotion was Trevor Harding, the Ghost.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, good man. He loved promoting, and he would spend a lot of money with quick snacks and everything that he did. He was an absolute hero. It didn't sound a bit, but I went to England with him and went through all the stuff preparing the Russians when they came, even though we did it from in England.
Okay. When
the Russian team came here, I don't know if you remember that.
Can you talk in Russian? Did you learn anything?
Moscow.
That'll do.
Ask me something in German.
Okay. Oh, my girlfriend. One day with my wife, so while you're watching that, honey. But yeah, okay, it's in German.
Mate.
No, yeah, it's my number.
See, I speak
multiple languages. Multiple talents. Hey, what about talents other than racing?
I'm very talented.
Yeah.
If I had any mates, you could ask them.
Okay. And we won't ask Wayne then.
No,
who's just snuck back in, so we might get him in a second.
Yeah.
What about, do you have any other things that you do besides racing, and because you put so much into it, we'll get into that in a second, but do you do anything that someone might go, didn't know John Fenton did that?
Did like what?
Do you have a hobby other than speedway?
I loved the go-karts with Nicholas, I really did.
Yeah.
With Nick, I loved the go-kart racing, that was fantastic.
Right.
Through that. But we've all centred around racing, and my wife, being a wonderful woman and very understanding of
your career, yeah.
She likes to be a tourist.
Right.
And my brother-in-law, Ronnie Plummer, thought she was a terrorist. And he said that, but that's how these things happen. Wayne comes in and he always dobs me into anything that I do. I've got to be careful now that he's come back. Whatever he may have been doing.
See, because John will get clipped under the ear while he's
No, she's a very, very, very understanding woman.
Yeah.
But not about me. And then that's how it goes, She is very fond. I like animals. I do love dogs, and my grandson had a great dog, Diesel, which I really had a lot of fun with him. I was looking after him for a while.
Right.
And he's not allowed in Jan's car. Not allowed in the car.
Okay.
And Jan went away to do what she was doing with her sister-in-law and how they do all the family stuff, which I was invited, but I couldn't make it, tied up looking after the dog.
Right.
And then I had the dog, and Wayne came around, as he would, silence of gold, get it. And she said, John, have you had this dog in the car? No. She said, I'm sure I have seen dog hair in my car. And I said, no, love. And he says, he has.
Dubbed you straight in.
I like dubbing him in. We touched on this subject before.
Oh, did you say?
Yeah.
So,
I got you into a lot of trouble that night, and I was really smiling about that. I don't mind getting him into trouble, you know, but gee, you know what? You just touched on a really important subject about the people in Speedway, and you probably do a lot of interviews.
Yep.
But what goes on behind the scenes with their family? And you know, John has a lovely wife, Jan, and those people, they need a big tick. They tick the box in every way, you know. They support us, and even my wife, who used to be, 100% behind me. And it goes through our Speedway with the people that race, isn't it, John? And John and Jan, they create a lot of friends with really high up people in the Speedway world. You know? It's just wonderful. It's a part of the memories that go. And like John and Jan have got, and they talk about it all the time, not that I listen. But,
but the support is the thing, isn't it? Like, you think you can do what you want.
Well, a whole family centres around.
Yeah, and if you don't have that support, you can't. You just, there's something missing.
Oh, it's been great. It really is. You know, we're so lucky to have Jen that supports me so well. And I've had a few close calls with parting company with the Planet. And you picture me big. And there we go. And geez. And like that recently when I had that heart attack I was getting a colonoscopy, which all sounds a bit rough here, but he said, I can't do it because you've got heart issues. I found out, and you can't get on, you can't go. Well, I can't do what I've got to do. Yeah. So I said, well, I'll go to the airport, and as I was booked, he didn't know that, but I was booked to get on the plane that night and go and help Nicholas at Eastern Creek. So I flew over there, because the guy, Adam Gotch from AGI Motorsports, he used to get us over there to help Nick and do what we were doing. It was really fantastic. So I was there. I didn't feel real good. Yeah. And I don't know who's experienced this, but it is something that is a bit scary. Yep. And I was in the pit area and gone down with Nick with his helmet to get him out on the grid. And you have a holding yard at Eastern Creek where you just all line up, and then when you from there straight out the door and onto the racetrack. Yeah. And I'm holding his helmet, and Nick's over talking to one of his buddies, getting ready to go out for practice, and down I went faster than the three-both thermometer in July.
That's like the ducks in the long grass.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Or faster than normally roll on the midday. Down you went. Yeah. And boom, down I went. And look, if I hadn't been right at the door of the medical centre,
you're very lucky.
Oh,
in that way.
You know, just lucky that I wasn't going yet. Yeah. You know, a lot of said that, well...
I couldn't understand why Jan cried for hours.
Well, now you know. She wasn't even there. Yeah. So...
I was just thinking someone stood on a foot, but he went the hard way.
And that's a hard job. I was in Westmead Hospital for 19 days. And then I got out, and I could not believe it, the amount of people in New South Wales, honestly, that came to see us.
Yeah, it's great.
And the first guy there was Sid Moore, who you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
I'm walking around the hospital, and I walk straight into Sid Moore. Like, Sid, what are you doing here? And he's a bit of a wild character. He said, I come to see you. You drove, because I won the Northern Territory Sprint Car Championship in his sprint car. Yeah. And I was just honoured by that he was there, and some of the great people. Yeah. Sid Vilmus, lovely guy, really good. You know?
Make you humble a little bit when that happens.
Oh,
and then you go like, yeah, okay, I'm John Fenton and I've won this and that, but it's the people that come and we'll talk. Wait a little bit.
They were there. I was so privileged by it. It was after that they took me over there for the meet and greet handshaking ceremony of thanks for the memories, you know. Yeah. And Bob Morgan would have gone, but things were tight. He just quite didn't have enough to go.
He wouldn't spend $1. I think that.
Those 18, I shouldn't do that to Barb, should I?
No. But you know what? It's the elder statesmen of the sport that have carried us this far. This is what's got us here.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
so far.
foundation of it all.
Yeah, and a lot of people look at John and me and they say, oh, they're too old. Oh, I don't remember them.
What do you mean?
But
Yeah,
You might be
because a lot of people didn't see race now because
No.
Motorplex is 20 years old already.
yeah,
You know?
but you know what? It's the elder statesmen of the sport, not just our division, but other divisions too that have carried the sport forward.
Yeah.
I think it's just remarkable that we honour some greats in this way that you're doing. I think it's just
What you're doing is fantastic.
Yeah.
Cheers.
And I hope all your fans that follow it get something out of the values of what we're talking about, because
thanks.
we need them and yourself, otherwise we don't exist.
Yeah, you're part of the
And
scene.
I know-
Did you realise
I don't mean
that?
that, but
How important
there's some
you are.
great guys, like Ray Clark's disappeared, Laurie Stevens has disappeared.
Yeah.
They've gone. But I come through the time when Marshall Sargent was the hero who
Mm.
came here with a super modified, in the days of Nick Tilby
Yeah.
being at the Claremont Speedway. And
Yeah.
the fun I
Yeah.
had with Con Migro over the years, he had a big job when he took that. All Lawson, he was the promoter when we got there. And yeah, all these things that go back over your
We've
time.
had some good ones, haven't we? Promoters, I think.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Look,
yeah,
West
yeah.
Australia,
Some of the world.
West Australia be at the top of the ladder.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah, and when you go to like Raleigh Park, I went with Kim and Ivan, who was a wonderful promoter, and that when it's gone out to where it did out of Virginia, the Speedway, but it's failed. It just didn't work. And everyone can have an idea, but it's so tough
Yeah.
and requires so much money to keep it
And
top.
dedication. But a lot of people have dedication, John, from Western Australia in all divisions. It's really on the forefront. You know, we've had some wonderful champions.
Oh yeah.
In all
the
the-
Speedway's pretty good over here.
And you know something, I want to touch on something else.
Yeah.
And I did just a minute ago, but you got embarrassed. People like you that are promoting something out there that a lot of Speedway people like to see.
Yeah.
And I think it's just wonderful.
It
what
is.
you're doing.
Well, and the reason why I do this is because I was that little kid, you know, at 5 years old. Well, I got taken to Claremont Speedway when I was basically born, and I watched Johnny Fenton in his black with a gold number 7.
Everyone does. That's
Did you ever race yourself?
No, brothers' cars in mechanics races here in bits and pieces, but I could never afford to do it properly.
Yeah.
And they raced and stuff, and I looked at how much work they did on the cars, and I thought, you know what, that's
Do you find that I'm taking over this interview
no, not at all.
and I'm giving it back to you?
Yeah, it's fine.
I hold you in high esteem for what you're doing for the sport.
He's doing a great job.
Yeah, absolutely, John.
Well, people need to hear your stories, and that's where, you know, like Scott B and I with Dirt Track.
He's a
Nuts,
great
we-
guy. He does
Another
a lot
good
for-
person.
Absolutely,
Very
yeah.
good.
Where we've got so much passion for it,
Yeah.
and you just need to be heard.
They do. Like Wade Orange is a great guy
Yeah.
for what he does for the sport.
Oh,
Same
Like,
thing,
I
yeah.
get like
Anyway,
talking
look,
about
well,
young Con Migro. He
M-I-G-R-O.
And his son by the
Oh,
same name.
same name, M-I-G-R-O.
They love the sport.
Oh, yeah.
Get a race with my
In your
boys,
face.
Tony and Kevin, with his XR75s and all that thing we had to do. And just yesterday we were at Bob Leash's passing.
Yeah.
And just all the bike people that were there were just fantastic. And Bobby was a great guy for sport, great guy for everything. Really did a good job. But I love my Speedway, and I still can't give it up. And I
Yeah.
Jan
You do
would
so
probably
much for it still.
say, well, I got one way to go. I want to get it back out there with young Nick. That's one of my biggest dreams.
Yep.
That we could get him back on the race car.
So I'm going to ask you maybe one last one and we wrap it up. And it's going to be hard for you to answer it because I think it's one of those questions you've got to look in the mirror. So, but how would you like to be remembered when you are finished in your time?
Be remembered.
Yeah.
Did I say this without wanting interference?
Yeah, okay. Just till the end.
Well, he could probably. Look, I think the privilege that you asked me to do this interview, Scott says it, that's enough. It's just fantastic that you're remembered by you to come and do an interview with us. That means everything.
Mate, it's been an absolute pleasure.
That's pretty good, eh, John?
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well
that's
said.
that's the wisest thing you've said in a long time.
Oh, it's a pity you've had-
Almost a week. he likes to do that.
Cheers, mate. Thank you again
Hey,
for coming back.
And what a pleasure for you doing what you're doing, mate. I take my hat off to you, I really do.
I love it.
But it is. Like, you imagine when they rang you up and said, will you come and do a tribute? Thanks for the memory.
Yeah.
And they paid for the airfares, accommodations, everything. And when I got into the Australian SLIGHTY Hall of Fame, they ring you up,
Yeah.
you're coming over to South Australia.
Are you in the Hall of Fame?
Australia,
How
yeah.
did you get in?
Because I've done more than what you have.
Well, is there any chance you can give me? Pull some strings, John.
And I got not a lot left from my racing career, but I've got one thing in there, and it's all about a tribute from Claremont Speedway to the Motorplex, and what we did.
It's wonderful.
And I've got that that's there. And to me, that's means plenty, you know.
Yeah.
Other stuff we've given away or done whatever, and met wonderful people through that time.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
That's the
John
thing.
and I are full of one-liners, but we have the same passion.
Yeah.
And it's the same passion you got.
Yeah, it's in your veins.
And a lot of people out there
Yeah.
know exactly what we're talking
Yeah.
about.
For sure.
No matter what part
I love
you play.
It's been great, and without you, you wouldn't do this again. So that's the greatest thing you can have, that you were recognised and you come and talk about your past. And I could have talked for ages,
Yeah, we could be
because
here
there's
for
so
days.
much more to talk
Oh,
about.
yeah.
Stories, yeah.
Through
And we-
go-karts,
You never know, might revisit
if
another time.
people like it and they say you want to hear more, there's more to
I
go.
reckon you should come and do another interview with me about John.
Well,
Well,
Now there's one.
Yeah, I think you can if you want it. If you want me to do about Wayne.
No, it's all right, John.
I'll be here.
maybe I'll leave if you have your own
No,
show.
no,
That'd be good.
no.
Now,
Fancy
here's
bar
something. We
then
can
see-
interview. We can interview you.
The only thing I say is, if you want me to do anything, I can't, because I don't want it.
Oh, I tell you what, there's a lot of people you could interview in a lot of divisions. I mean,
Oh yeah, it's endless.
and you know what? I hope everyone gets a little bit of something, whether it makes them smile or
I hope
whatever it
you're
is.
right.
Yeah.
What do you do? I'll take all the
Speedway,
matches
speedway.
off. You don't, aren't you?
No, we're just about done. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
See, John wants to get out of his life.
No, I got it.
No, his wife's outside with the dressing gown and slippers already.
She won't have slippers.
No,
He's got to get his dinner. I've been holding him up.
No, you're not.
All right, guys. Well, thank you
No,
for
thank
watching.
you, and the privilege was you for having us.
No, the privilege is talking to the legend, John Fenton.
I just wave. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.
Wayne
and,
Gamer.
Kolovich, if you don't mind, John.
And the itch is optional.
Oh, yes.
He's not a slave. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Ray.
mates.